It's time for this week's episode of Brandon Sports Talk, featuring in-depth interviews from those who are trending in the world of athletics. And now, here's the host of Brandon Sports Talk, Brandon Pate.
Back to Brandon Sports Talking. Today's episode, I have the privilege to interview Samantha Johnson, a professional soccer player. How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. Can you talk about how you knew that you wanted to play professional soccer?
Pro soccer was interesting. We had a project in school when I was very young, and I think, when I was like 10, I wrote down on my little project that I wanted to be a professional soccer player. I didn't know what that meant at the time, obviously, but as I got older, I think it became more of a reality, just based on the level that I was playing at and kind of the college that I went to.
Can you talk about, of course, your college time at USC?
I went to USC from 2009 to 2013. I got a scholarship there to play soccer, which was good. And then USC was like a really, really tough program in terms of like athletics, as you can imagine. So there's a lot of pressure to perform all the time and just be excellent all the time. But it definitely is a time in my life where it was really challenging. But at the same time, I'm very glad that I got through it because it kind of made me who I am today.
What did you accomplish during your college time?
I think I grew a lot as a person. I'm pretty sure I still hold the record for fastest goal ever scored, which is quite hilarious. But other than like an actual accolade, that's probably the only sports one that I got in terms of like making team of the week or something. But I think it's more of like a personal growth and character growth for sure when my time at SC.
Can you talk about, of course, your playing time at Chicago Red Stars?
Yeah, so in 2014, I tried out for the Chicago Red Stars. I wasn't like drafted or anything. I just went to the open tryouts and then made the team. My entire career or youth career, actually, I was an attacking player. And then when I became a professional in 2014, I became a center back and then have pretty much played all across the back line since then. So that year was really hard because I had to change positions, but I learned a lot and I played next to really good player, Julie Johnson at the time, but now Julie Ertz. She plays in the national team. So she was like my center back pairing, which helped a lot to get to know the new position. And then basically spent 5 years of my career there until I got traded to the Royals in 2019.
Can you talk about, of course, the process of getting traded from the Chicago Red Stars to the Utah Royals?
Yeah, so the trading process in the league can be quite abrupt. I did ask for a trade like multiple times from Chicago years prior, and they were like, no, we're not trading you. So I didn't ever expect, honestly, to actually get traded. So when I got the pretty much the news to get traded, I was really happy just because I thought like I had maxed my time out in Chicago and pretty much have learned all I can learn. And so I just wanted a new city and a new challenge. So that was really exciting, but it was really abrupt because I had an apartment in Chicago. So I basically had like 3 days to get it all together pretty much and then head off to Utah Royals. So when I was at Utah, I was still trying to get my apartment sublet and it was chaos for the first month, but it worked itself out. But that's professional sports, of course.
Can you talk about, of course, your playing time with the Utah Royals?
Yeah, I spent a year there and I actually really, really enjoyed it. The city is obviously much different than Chicago, but I loved my coach, Laura Harvey, and my teammates are pretty cool. I knew most of them just from growing up and playing against them or either with them in the NWSL or youth stuff. So, I mean, I had a really good time there. I don't think that I was mentally in the right spot to maximize the opportunity just because I was pretty much over soccer at that time. So it was so I didn't really take advantage of the opportunity to play like full time or maybe earn like a proper starting position there. But I really enjoyed my time and their standards were really high and had great resources for the team. So it was good.
What was your time like playing for the Australia W League?
Yeah, so I've been coming back and forth to the W League for quite some time, since 2014. So what happens is we play in America usually from March to October, and then we come to W League from October to February to try and keep the year-round playing, because we at the time we only got paid when you were actually playing. So when you're in America, you get paid for 8 months, and then if you didn't play in the off season, you don't get paid. So obviously the motivation is to keep getting a paycheck and to stay fit year round. So we would do that. And the first year I came here, I played for Sydney FC. And then the last 3 years I've been here, I played for both Melbourne teams, Melbourne Victory and Melbourne City. And I thoroughly enjoy my time here, because Melbourne especially is a very livable city. So it's not like it's foreign or something like that. So it's kind of similar to America, and no language barriers, but fun food, fun people. So I really like it.
Can you talk about, of course, some of the challenges going from playing American to, of course, where you're at now?
Yeah, so some of the obvious challenges that aren't football related is obviously being far away from your family all the time. Obviously the time difference, and so communicating and trying to, catch up with friends or family could be tough. But the football part is, um, it's not as different as you would think. I guess soccer's kind of played the same way around the world, and the language of the game is pretty much the same, obviously. There's new challenges in every team you go, like trying to learn a new system or getting used to new teammates, of course. But the game is pretty much the same. So that's kind of the beauty of it. And I think that coming down here helps me personally, just to kind of reset and see the game from a different perspective, because obviously the style and maybe just how people go about it is so much different than being in America.
Can you talk about, of course, what you accomplished with the Melbourne Victory?
Yeah, so when I was at Victory 2016, we had a rough season, I believe. Can't remember what place we finished, but definitely not in the top four. And then I believe I was there 2018-19, and then that was a good season for us because we ended up winning the league, which was pretty cool. And then what else? Yeah, so those are my accomplishments with Victory. And I really enjoyed that team because it was a bunch of random personalities, and somehow we all band together and got it done.
What did you accomplish with the Sydney FC?
Sydney FC, my first year. I can't even remember back that far, honestly, but my moment, I guess, or I'm really thankful that I got the chance to meet, at the time, he was about to be not the US national team coach, the Matildas coach, so the Australian national team coach. His name's Alan Stajic. So he was a very good coach and personality for me to meet and be around for the short time that I was there. So I'm really thankful I got to meet and connect with him. And I'm still good friends with him today, and we chat and whatnot. But I wish I would have had him a little bit longer as a coach, because I really admire his aggressive mentality and aggressive strategies. I think they're really good and helpful for bringing out the best in players. Not many people probably agree with me, but it's within my personality to like his style. So I think that was cool. It was a good introduction to, I think, Australian football.
What is a typical game day like in the Melbourne City?
Game day. So game days are different from obviously home and away. So if you're home, it's a bit more relaxed because you can do whatever you want pretty much. You can have your own specific routine. Whereas if you're on the road, we have more of an itinerary and schedule. So if I'm at home, I prefer to just sleep until the kickoff, to be honest. But I pretty much just lounge around and try to relax, stay off my feet for as long as possible until we have to be at the stadium. And then when you're on the road, we have a different schedule because we have, mandatory meals and breakfast, lunch, pregame, and we have a team walk. So I prefer home games because I can just lounge around, but that's pretty much the biggest difference between the game days when you go home and away.
What was the feeling like whenever you put on your jersey for the first time professionally, nationally, and then international?
Right. If I can remember back that far, obviously in 2014 for my first time wearing the Chicago jersey, I don't remember exactly how I felt. I just remember that I wasn't a player that was ever meant to actually play, I don't think, or like really have a big contribution to the team. So I literally was a trialist, and then I made the team, and then the very first game, of course, somebody, has a season ending injury in my position. So I have to go in, and then I pretty much, never left the field after that for Chicago. So it was kind of just, fell into place kind of accidentally, maybe meant to be, I'm not sure. But after that, I just realized like, since we're here, take advantage of the opportunity pretty much. And because obviously nothing happens on accident. So that was pretty interesting. And then overseas, I just remember thinking, wow, I'm so far away from home, but thankfully the game is giving me the opportunity to play and meet new people across the world. Because that's kind of my favorite part, because I would never have the friends that I have in the game without obviously kicking a ball. So it's kind of cool.
What have you accomplished during your professional soccer career?
I think I've had quite a bit of success on the pitch for sure, but I think I've had more success off the pitch in terms of growing as a person. And I think that I've used or utilized like my talent, obviously, to, travel the world and meet new people. But I've also kind of created more opportunities off the pitch and trying to develop what I want to do after soccer is completely done. So I want to help kids in education space. So I think because I play and I get to meet people other decision makers, or just have access to different people, that it helps me when I want to retire again and actually build a career in the education space.
Who are some of your favorite players that you have played against?
Probably Marta. And probably my favorite players. It's always not really my favorite players, probably the most notable players that give me the hardest time, to be honest. Usually attackers. I can't say she's my favorite, but she's definitely challenging, and it's never a dull moment when we're on the field. Is Sam Kerr. She's very, very difficult to defend. So it makes it fun because it's competitive, but it's like we do get after it a bit. So yeah, her and Marta have been pretty cool. I will say playing with my childhood idol, if you will, Shannon Box, my rookie year was pretty amazing because obviously I used to watch her when I was a kid. So it was quite strange that I ended up on the same team as her when I became a professional.
Have you played against any of the U.S. national players like Alex Morgan?
Yes, all of them play in the National Women's, well, not all of them, but most of them play in the National Women's Soccer League. A few are overseas as well. But yeah, she is on Orlando, I believe, still, and just returned from overseas and, getting back after having her baby. So yes, I've played against her quite a bit.
What is it like to play against the national team, of course, while playing in the NWSL?
It's really challenging. Obviously, they're a very talented and selected group for a good reason, right? So in any teams they play on, they always raise the level, I think, just mentally and physically and just football wise, right? So it makes it everything more competitive and just more fun to play. So, because if it's not competitive, then it's not as fun.
Where do you see your future landing in professional soccer?
Well, I've played in America, obviously I played in Australia, and I would love the opportunity to play in Europe just because I think as a football person, that's kind of the place you want to be because it's the powerhouse of, club pretty much. So I definitely want to see if I can get an opportunity to play maybe Spain or Italy and see how I can work my way around the countries over there.
Do you also see yourself playing on the national team in the future?
I can't say no, but I can't say yes. Obviously, you just don't know what the future holds. So I can never write anything off because as unconventional as my path has been, I can't really say like, no, I don't see it. Cause honestly, you just never know. But, so I just kind of focus on, being a professional, which is obviously playing for whatever club I sign with next. And then sure, if they called my name, that would be great. But if they never called my name, then I've accomplished so much already. So.
What advice would you give upcoming professional soccer players looking to get into professional soccer?
I would say that it's extremely important to watch soccer, learn the game tactically. Super important to learn all the systems that can be played. Obviously, taking advantage of your own development and not being too shy on working on your weaknesses. And then also just being extremely a coachable player who always wants to learn and, not thinking that you necessarily know it all, but trying to apply what your coaches and maybe teammates have for you. And then probably just, learn all the positions, because you could probably end up like me and having to play the exact opposite position that you've trained to do your entire life. And you just kind of got to roll with it if you want to make the starting 11.
That's great advice. Where can my listeners find you at on social media?
Yeah, so I am at Dream on Rose on Instagram. And then for my Better brand, for the ones I do for the kids and the mentorship program, is at better.cass, which is CASS on the end.
Thank you again, Samantha Johnson, for your interview, and best of luck in your professional soccer career.
Thank you so much for having me.
You can find Brandon Sports Talk on Facebook at Brandon Sports Talk, Instagram at Brandon Sports Talk, Twitter at Talk_Brandon, and you can find me on YouTube at Brandon Sports Talk. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you again, Samantha, for your interview, and best of luck.
Thank you.
You've been watching Brandon Sports Talk. Please feel free to like, share, and subscribe to Brandon Sports Talk on social media and on YouTube.